And I tried to report that shit and just get away with it. I just want it to stop. I swear to God, I don't want shit. I don't want shit else. I just want it to fucking stop. I want to have my car that I paid $13,000 for by myself. I had a co-signer. I believe she put $800 down. And then I never saw her again after all that stuff went missing from my house. So after I made my last payment, I called Capital One and they're like, yeah, we're going to release the title. Where should we mail it? And I gave them the address and they said, okay, no problem. We'll send it out. But instead of sending it out, I never got it. So maybe they did send it out and I just never received it. I highly doubt it. Because they told me then, like 3 weeks later, that they sent it to Amy's house in Homer Glen. So they gave me the address where they sent it, and I got in my car and drove there and spoke with Amy's father. And I asked him, like, I have 3 children. This is my only transportation, and I was working DoorDash at the time. So I'm like, I need my car, you know? And why would you guys do that? And he's like, I don't know anything about it. Amy hasn't received any mail here, and she doesn't want to talk to you. Okay, well, I gave him my phone number to the blog that never changes. I've had that phone number this entire time. And I said, okay, can you please have her call me whenever she does feel like talking so that I can get my title back? That's my car. I just literally drove DoorDash, worked trade shows, worked modeling, sold content, did sexy, degrading photo shoots that I didn't even enjoy doing to be able to pay for that car. The things that I went through to get what I had, it wasn't much. But for me, it was everything. And for my kids, it was everything. And I was able to drive them places. And I was able to go to the grocery store. And I was able to do all of these things that, you know, a mom does. So I still have no resolution for that. And then I got a different car. Eric gave me the Honda. Remember, I told you guys what he said. It could have been a Cadillac, but only girls who suck dick get luxury cars. I'm sorry. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, you invite me into your house with no expectation. You're the sweetest thing ever. Sweetest thing. He hands me $1,000 and he's like, I know what you've been going through. I know what they did to you. I got you. Like, it's done. Everything is gonna be fine. I'm gonna help you. Here's $1,000. Go get your kids Christmas gifts. Blah 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 blah. Never had sex with Eric.
Cause he's in a wheelchair.
You know. I just don't understand why everyone who comes into my life starting as, we know what the fuck has been going on. We know about this corrupt ass shit. We know. We got you. And then a week or two in, it's like whoever, again, is benefiting from all of the information and hard work that I've done, all of the victimizations that I've been put through, they don't want me to speak on that shit. They want to speak on that shit. So they force people to go through it, and then they pretend like they are an investigator or an agent of some kind, and they present the information that someone else got only because they were thrown into a position of being victimized. Manufactured crime.
Why is that door open? It's driving me crazy.
I don't know.
Me neither. Can you
I
close
really
it?
don't know.
Close the door.
I wake up at 3 in the morning. He says that the car is going to get the tires changed. And that's the last time I've heard from him.
Because his sister said, hell no, you ain't keeping
He already paid my parking for the year. He set up auto pay. He wrote a lease. Grant got fired. The other girl that worked here got fired. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I called the management company. I left several voicemails. I reported all the thefts. I filed police reports. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Either way, my heart hurts just about my kids. I mean, and the rest of my family too, you know, of course. The thing is, it doesn't really matter how close you are when you spend 10 years with someone and, you know, they raise you or they do this or that. You have, even if they're a piece of shit, for me anyways, for some people, I guess it's easy to just be like, well, I don't give a fuck anymore. For me, I don't talk to them. I might guard myself physically from them, but I never stop caring and wondering and worrying. And that's not for my kids. That's for some of my extended family that I'm just not close with and haven't been close with since, you know, I was very young. I still worry about them. Why are none of them answering the phone? At the very least, we saw each other on holidays and like 4 or 5 times for family reunions or something. You know, where are they? Where is everyone? Again, what's going on with the children? Where are they? Why was this erroneous order entered so
I love how she does big words.
just weirdly close to the time that everything, this was definitely a premeditated attack is what I'll call it.
Someone say, here comes the big words.
Where are my children? And why haven't the people who get paid to solve crimes like this solved the fucking crime yet? Or made any progress at all whatsoever? Again, I just want to reiterate that I'm fairly certain, 99%, that there are a whole gang of people taking checks for doing these jobs, right? Is the government shut down? I don't think it is. I think checks are still being dispersed, right? If that's the case, where, again, just one more time, where the fuck is everyone who's supposed to be figuring out what the fuck is going on? Why doesn't anyone communicate with me and tell me what's happening? Where are my children? Why the weird patterns and lapses in communication where they're with me all the time and I'm able to get a hold of them whenever. They always answer on FaceTime. And then 3-4 weeks, I can't get a hold of them at all or very limited. And then I get to see them again for 3 weeks and then a week with no contact. And then 6 months where I get to talk to them every day. Nothing's wrong. But my life is like in shambles. I'm fucking, it's just, what is going on? What forces are at work here that are intentionally keeping me from my children? Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, I don't regularly do drugs. I did a sober month of January. I don't regularly drink either. I just don't like it. I'll have a glass of wine.
She just said she was sober.
If I'm sad or depressed, mostly I will go out or be with a friend and get drunk. But typically, you'll never see me drunk. Typically, and if you do, like I said, it's very rare. And again, I don't judge anyone for what they do, but I'm trying to make sense of all of this. So I go a whole year with no drug use. I think I did mushrooms twice this past year, and that's it. No drug, no alcohol use. And then
Lies.
out of nowhere, one day, I'll get a wild hair up my ass that I need to smoke compressed gas. Just for no reason? No, that's not how things work.
What?
What happened earlier that day? They were tormenting me. What happened the day before? They were breaking into my apartment. What happened the day before that? I got robbed. What happened the day before that? Someone made me believe that my children were being kidnapped and taken to Disneyland. What happened the day before that? I was told I would never see my children again by a stranger. What happened the day before that? Thousands of comments and reading through this shit finally on Reddit about just complete and total assassination of my character from strangers who have no idea who I am at all whatsoever. People who have something to gain by falsifying the truth. Who would that be? Who would have something to gain by making people think that what truly happened is not what happened? Maybe the real person to blame? Possibly.
You.
Maybe the real rapist? All the rapists? Since my issues with being sexually abused, I have not really had much of a desire to be intimate with anyone at all. I consider myself asexual. But then I started getting turned on by things recently.
Oh my gosh. Ew.
Thoughts and regular things, nothing like weird or pornographic, just like regular things that would turn a person on.
What the?
And that's when I like realized, okay, maybe I can have healthy sexual relationships again. Maybe I can be married, or maybe I can
Stop. You are not.
even kiss someone. I think it's so disgusting. I don't like it at all. Ugh, I think it is so yuck. I hate it. If there's one thing I hate, it is that. I don't want anyone by me. I don't want him to touch me. I don't want to be kissed. I don't want to be, none of that. I hate it. If anything,
But
just
you're
like
an
hug me
escort.
and, rub my leg and let's watch a movie. From there,
Oh my gosh.
from being where I was, where it was like my own father couldn't even rest his hand on my shoulder without me completely freaking out. After the rape chamber experience number 1. What is a rape chamber? No, I'm glad that you asked. A rape chamber is a place where you are locked in. Someone is physically preventing you from leaving, where sexual abuse is occurring. Where you have to go to bed at night worried because you know that some shit is going down. That's a rape chamber.
What the hell?
The history doesn't match up to someone who is psychotic or crazy in any way, shape, or form. You don't experience abuses like that in your teenage years and then hold a full-time job and then for 5-6 years, especially in a field where you're caring for people, and then just all of a sudden you're crazy again. Something, someone, some antagonist.
What? This is a funny one. I'm sorry.
Now, what happens when you're open and honest with your husband, Dylan? Dylan was the first man. I had 2 other relationships, and Dylan was the first man I ever told about all the things I went through. He was the first person I ever trusted.
He was not your husband.
And he knew that from the very beginning. I kept my history of sexual abuse from almost everyone. Almost everyone. There were a few people I told, a few friends growing up. But mostly it was, I didn't tell anyone. Why, after I tell this man all the shit that I've gone through, does he come home and proceed to put me back into situations that are similar? Or was he trying to protect me from that? But it was his idea in the first place. He loves sex. He refers to himself as a sexual deviant. I don't judge anyone. Well, I judge some people. You know who I judge? People who want to have sex with people that don't want to be anywhere near them. That's who I judge. I think it's disgusting. I think it's trashy. I think it's cowardice. I don't understand it. Again, this situation has been ongoing since 2015. When I was bullied and sexual harassed by someone, a detective. Internal Affairs got involved. He lost his job, and I'm crying at night thinking, what the fuck did I do? How could I report this detective? How could he has a newborn? What is his family gonna do? I swear to God on everything I love, I'm crying for him. I'm worried, thinking I did the wrong thing in reporting him. What did he do? He told me to steal some evidence from a woman that I had no idea about. So I didn't know anything about the workings of what was going on. And he told me that if I didn't steal this item, they would take my children from me. I was not in custody. I was not arrested. I was pulled off the street in a car with my mother-in-law. They took me out of the car. They showed me a box of evidence. They asked me for information I couldn't provide. And then they threatened me and said that if I didn't get this item, that they were going to take my kids from me.
That makes no sense.
I got the item. I gave it to him on Lake Street under the L. Lake and State, State and Lake. He was in his car. He didn't even get out. I passed it to him through the window. And I thought it would be all done from there. That was still 2015. I was terrified. Terrified. He kept texting. He said, you have to check in with me every single day.
No, that doesn't make
I want to know what's going on. I said, what's going on with what? I have 3 kids. I stay in the house. I don't even have friends. If you don't text me every day, we'll be back here. And we'll take you into custody. We'll take your kids.
I really don't believe that.
This man lost his job. After that went on for 6 months or so. And finally, my lawyer and I were able to speak with IA, not me, my lawyer, and then they made us have a formal hearing. I had to go down and give testimony and show the text messages and et cetera and so forth. It's just been a lot of illegal, corrupt, predatory, bullying, exploitation. I don't know, what it's going to take for this to stop. I go on Instagram as frequently as possible, literally begging for help from anyone. Well, what kind of help do you need? Well, what I need is this. I have 3 children. I need, number 1, an understanding of why they were taken from me in the first place without me having been in front of a judge or having an opportunity to defend myself in court, which is my U.S. constitutional right. And I'm pretty sure that I'm still in the United States. Rick, can anyone verify that for me? I'm in the United States, right? 2. took them, whatever, they separated, they gave them to their fathers, okay? And I was able to speak to them regularly. But then all of a sudden, some weird, fucked up shit started intruding on the lives of my exes. Their behaviors towards me began to be very weird and strained and different. What the fuck is that about? My kids start behaving out of character in ways that they would never behave in before. Saying things, doing things, being sexualized. Now, I worked in sexy entertainment, but my kids were never sexualized. Ever. My daughter never... My children were very innocent. They were not sexualized in any way, shape, or form. They didn't, do sexy things or say sexy things or sit in ways that are overly sexual, or I don't even know what word to call it, because it's truly not so much sexual as it is.
Stop.
I don't know. Regardless, something started to happen when they took my children from me. And I continue to wonder what it is and what's going on. And the more I prod and the more I pry and say, what the fuck is going on? Where are my kids? The less they allow me to see them. And the less I'm allowed to know about where they are and what they're doing. And the less communication we have. Paris Hilton
What?
just started a large initiative, Break Code Silence. I respect it. I'll tell you why. Everything that went on in those schools was pretty much done in secret. The parents had no real idea of what was going on. The children were not allowed to speak to their parents. So the entire time I was there, I was not allowed to use the phone. You are not allowed to speak to your peer group. So you have kids all around you that are in this reform place. And they all look fucked up, They all look scared and sad and lonely. And we have to wear these uniforms and everyone's quiet. No one talks. And if you're lucky, your parents drop you off and don't tell you shit. And you're terrified for your life, feeling like you've just been kidnapped. If you're not lucky, they grab you out of your bed while you're asleep. In the United States, put you on a fucking plane and take you to Jamaica, or they had another one, Casa by the Sea in Mexico. 3 in the United States domestically that I'm aware of. But it's more about what was going on there in reality and what was being portrayed as going on there. You get this video, this advertisement, it's like Jamaica, everyone's walking down the beach, sand volleyball, attitude adjustment, it's going to be great for your kid, it'll only be $10,000 a month, no problem. How many parents took second mortgages on their home? How many parents took out loans? How many parents had no idea what the fuck is going on and do whatever to get the money as a last-ditch effort to save your child? But these places are not saving your children. They're preparing them. What are they preparing them for? Now, I look back at my own life, and
I'm surprised she doesn't.
I was there for a year. It was my 14th birthday when I got dropped off there. I was told it was a vacation, a church retreat. That's what my mom told my dad, too. So I didn't get a chance to say bye to my family or my dad or anyone. My stepdad and my mom put me on this plane and they dropped me off there in Jamaica. I didn't know when I was going to come home. And a lot of fucked up shit went on. When I did come home, I didn't trust anyone. I started running away. I had never been in trouble prior to going to that boot camp, never had any police contacts, ever at all, nothing. But when I came back, I did. I hated everyone. I wanted no one around me. I trusted no one and nothing. So I would run away all the time. Then I started trusting my peer group. And then I started noticing that the peer group that I was trusting were the ones who also had limited supervision, lax rules in the household. Why is that? You know? And then you start examining all these parallels. So my mom, that house was very strict. You're not allowed to go out. You don't do anything. No sleepovers, none of that shit. You could have a friend over sometimes. Maybe you could go to the movies, but I wasn't allowed to do anything. So I run towards freedom. But I don't think it was ever freedom that I was running for. I think it was safety. I didn't feel safe being around my own parents at that time because I was so completely shook over what the fuck just went on in Jamaica for the last year. I was a child. I was a young girl. So at 15, I started running away. And I lost my virginity to a sexual assault between 14 and 16. I don't want to discuss it any more than that. I have to stay very surface level in the things I discuss because of all the disgusting, malicious, miserable people that have nothing better to do than use my experience as some sort of hate. I don't really get it because everything I speak on is because I'm trying to understand, you know, and I'm seeking people who either have similar experience or insight that they can offer, solutions, perspective. So why do I only get these very hateful comments back? You know, and that's why I can't go into anything too deeply. Because number one, it's none of your fucking business. And number two, in the past, that hasn't worked out. And if you have any questions about that, you can go over to my live feeds or go over to my last Instagram, one Heather G, and go to those live feeds and just read through some of the comments. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting the way that some people treat others. So that was my very first sexual abuse. It's happened at least 5 or 6 times that I'm aware of since then, at least. And I think that people play on that. They know those are my 2 biggest vulnerabilities. Number 1, please don't have sex with me. I don't want to have sex with you. And number 2, where are my children? So they began to, whenever they want me to act up, whenever they want me to freak out, those are the cards that they play. No communication with your children, and then either they rape or they create an environment and a sense that a rape has taken place. I'll wake up with my panties undone and down. I filed police reports about that. I'll wake up with them soaking wet and something in there. All of this has been reported. All of this has been recorded and documented.
This is a long life.
I just don't know what to do anymore because I'm just worried about everyone, my kids and my family, and I don't really understand what's going on. I'm lonely, but I'm terrified to meet anyone new. And I feel like anyone that I do meet after like 2 weeks, they're not allowed to talk to me anymore. And I don't know who tries to stop them. But that's my guess. Like, I truly have no evidence of that. But that's the only thing I can think of, because they go from being so kind and no expectations. They're not pressuring me sexually. They're nice, and I like them. And it's a range of person, how they look, how they talk, their race. None of that matters. None of it. And I make these connections. They seem genuine for a very short time. And then, just like that, it's over with. And it's like this cold, terrifying, predatory environment again. So I just kind of gave up on that idea of ever finding love again. I don't want it. I love Drake. And I just want to be with my children. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But my children are not here. So where are they? And what the fuck is going on here? And how do I resolve the issue? Again, I've created so much content that organizes this in a much easier way to understand chronologically and otherwise. And every single time that I do, they destroy it remotely. So I want to know also who that person is. Who has something to gain by, number one, creating a facade of mental health issues, and number two, erasing evidence of numerous documented vicious exploitations and attacks. This is supposed to be my life being restored. This is supposed to be my building, my home, my safe space, a place where my children and I can live peacefully together. Where the fuck is the car? What happened to Eric? Where are my children? Where are the fathers of my children, who I believe have also been manipulated into God only knows what?